Why dark chosen ones can vibrate in both dark and light dimensions at once. Have you ever asked yourself why the universe seems to be built on opposites? Light and darkness, joy and sorrow, creation and destruction. We're taught to fear one and embrace the other, but what if that very duality is not a war, but a dance? What if darkness, the very thing we've been conditioned to fear, is not the absence of divinity, but a mirror of it? Today, I want you to come with me on a journey deep into the truth most spiritual seekers are too afraid to confront. A journey into the heart of what it means to vibrate in both dark and light dimensions at once. A journey into the mystery of the dark chosen ones. Now, I'm not talking about evil. Let's get that straight. Darkness is not synonymous with evil. That's a human interpretation, a limitation of language and perspective. In the spiritual realm, darkness is simply the realm of the hidden, the unknown, the womb of creation. It is the soil in which seeds are planted. It is the void before the word was spoken. It is the place where we go to lose everything we thought we were and remember who we really are. The dark chosen ones are not evil beings. They are the rare souls who are called to embody this paradox, to live between worlds, to walk in both the sacred shadow and the divine light, and to do so without losing their center.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Have you ever felt like you don't belong anywhere, like you see too much, feel too deeply, and carry both rage and compassion in equal measure? That's not confusion. That's calling. That's the signature of a dark, chosen one. We are not here to be perfect. We are not here to be accepted. We are here to be whole. And wholeness includes everything. The messy, the mystical, the beautiful, and the brutal. Our vibration isn't pure light, it's not pure dark, it's something entirely different. A harmony created by dissonance. A fire that burns both cold and hot. Imagine the power of that. The ability to hold both ends of the cosmic spectrum without collapsing. That's the gift, that's the burden, that's the mastery. To truly understand this, we have to go deeper into the nature of vibration itself. Everything is vibration. Your thoughts, your emotions, your memories, your traumas, your dreams, all of them vibrate at specific frequencies. Light vibrates, so does darkness, and the dark chosen ones? We move between frequencies like shamans crossing realms. We can enter the pain of others without drowning in it. We can face the darkest parts of ourselves without flinching. We can stand in the presence of suffering and still radiate power, not because we are invulnerable, but because we have died and come back, again and again. Have you ever noticed how the most awakened people have also gone through the deepest pain? That's not an accident. That's an initiation. The darkness does something to you that light cannot. It breaks you open. It strips away illusions. It forces you to confront your own shadow. And in that confrontation, something extraordinary happens. You stop running. You stop hiding. You become real. And when you become real, your vibration changes, becomes multidimensional. You no longer vibrate at just one frequency. You become a bridge, a gateway, a living paradox. This is why the dark chosen ones can vibrate in both dimensions. We have earned it through fire, through loss, through isolation, through facing parts of ourselves that others spend lifetimes avoiding. We have walked through hell without asking to be rescued, and in doing so, we found heaven. Not as a reward, but as a realization. We learned that heaven and hell are not places, they are states of being, and we learned how to move between them with grace. But this gift comes with responsibility. If you are a dark chosen one, you must understand this. Your power lies in your capacity to feel it all, to navigate the full spectrum of human and spiritual experience without collapsing into judgment. You must learn to wield both love and rage as sacred tools. You must learn to sit in silence with the broken parts of others without trying to fix them. You must learn to hold the tension between light and dark in your own soul without choosing sides, because if you choose only one, you lose the very essence of who you are. That's the trap, isn't it? Most people want to escape the dark. They want to transcend it. But transcendence without integration is just spiritual bypassing. It's a lie you tell yourself to avoid the work. But we don't get to avoid the work. We are the work. We are the ones who remember that the lotus grows from the mud, not in spite of it, but because of it. And we honor that mud. We venerate it because we know it made us. So let me ask you a question. When was the last time you truly sat with your own darkness, not to judge it, not to fix it, but to simply witness it? Can you even do that? Can you sit in the presence of your rage, your shame, your grief, and still love yourself? That's the test. That's the alchemy. Because when you can do that, something incredible happens. You begin to vibrate with power, not the kind of power that dominates, the kind that liberates, the kind that heals by simply being. That's what the world needs now more than ever. Beings who are not afraid of the dark, who are not addicted to the light, who can look at the chaos and still see the divine order, who can walk into the fire and come out carrying water. That's you. That's us. The dark chosen ones. We are not here to be saved. We are here to remind the world that the divine is not one-sided. It is not safe. It is not tame. It is not always light. Sometimes the divine comes as a storm. Sometimes it comes as silence. Sometimes it comes through you. And so, if you feel like you don't belong, good. You weren't meant to. If you feel like your energy is too intense, too raw, too real, good. You were never meant to be diluted. If you feel like you carry both the healer and the destroyer within you, excellent. That means you are starting to remember who you are, and the remembering is the beginning of mastery. We are going to go deeper, much deeper. But for now, I want you to sit with this one truth. Darkness is not your enemy, it is your teacher, it is your ally. And when you stop resisting it, when you allow it to become part of your vibration, you don't just survive this world, you transform it. The soul of the shadow, how darkness becomes the gateway to higher realms. You see, the greatest lie ever told in spiritual circles is that light is always the goal, that enlightenment is about rising above, transcending, escaping. But what if I told you that the very act of trying to escape the darkness is what keeps you trapped in illusion? That the obsession with light is just another form of spiritual ego? Real transformation doesn't happen in the clouds. It happens in the cave, in the silence, in the parts of yourself you are terrified to face. And the dark chosen ones? We make our home there, not because we are broken, but because we know that true divinity is not afraid of the dark. Darkness is not the absence of God, it is the depth of God. It is the space where the ego dies and the soul is born. It is not emptiness, it is pregnancy. The shadow is fertile, it waits, it watches, it holds the codes of your evolution. And when you stop fighting it, when you sit with it, breathe with it, merge with it, it opens doors you didn't even know existed. That's when you begin to vibrate in both dimensions at once, not as a contradiction, but as a completion. You begin to realize that the light is not above the dark, it is within it. Think about that for a moment. What if the pain you've been running from holds the exact frequency you need to activate your next level of power? What if your deepest wounds are not weaknesses but portals? What if the parts of you that society told you were too much or too intense are actually your sacred weapons? That's what the shadow reveals. It shows you that you were never broken. You were preparing, you were being forged, and that fire was necessary. There is no authentic ascension without descent. Every mystic knows this. Every true initiate walks down before they rise up. The descent is not a fall from grace. It is grace, because it breaks your identity, it removes the masks, it strips you of everything false, and only then can you embody truth. Only then can you vibrate in both realms, because you are no longer pretending to be just one thing. You are everything. You are both the storm and the stillness, the fury and the forgiveness. You are whole. Have you ever been through something so painful, so disorienting, that you thought you'd never come back? And yet you did. But you didn't come back as the same person. You came back with eyes that see in the dark, with a heart that holds other people's pain without collapsing. That is spiritual royalty. That is sacred leadership. That is the mark of a dark chosen one. We don't avoid the underworld. We rule it, not through domination, but through integration. You see, when you vibrate in both the dark and light dimensions, you become a living bridge. You carry messages from the unseen. You become a translator between the realms. You start to notice that your presence alone shifts energy, that people begin to confess things to you they've never told anyone, that your voice carries a frequency that cuts through the noise. And that's no accident. That's because you've earned that power in the shadows. You've walked through your inner hell and came out with gold. Not gold you show off, but gold you give away, quietly, powerfully. And here's the deeper truth. The darkness is not just inside of you, it's also around you. It's in the collective, it's in the ancestral wounds, it's in the energetic system of this planet. And when you learn to hold your own shadow, you become a vessel for transmuting collective shadow. You start to feel things that aren't yours. You start to dream things before they happen. You start to remember who you were before this lifetime. That's when the magic begins. That's when you realize that darkness is not just a place of pain, it's a place of power. But you must be careful, because this path is not for the faint of heart. It will test you, it will strip you, it will ask you to let go of everything you thought made you strong, so you can discover what actually does. And when that happens, when you finally surrender, you don't rise above the dark, you rise through it. like a phoenix from the ashes, but slower, quieter, deeper. Because this isn't about spectacle, it's about sovereignty. So I ask you again, what part of your shadow are you still afraid to face? What pain are you still running from? And what if your liberation is not in escaping it, but in entering it fully and consciously, with your eyes wide open? What if the next dimension of your power is hidden in the part of yourself you've rejected the most? This is the soul of the shadow. It is not here to destroy you, it is here to reveal you. The jewel flame within, harnessing light and dark without losing your soul. There is a fire that lives inside you. Not one, but two. One burns with the brilliance of the sun, radiant, healing, expansive. The other, deeper, slower, darker. It smolders like volcanic heat, ancient and untamed. Most people only recognize one of these flames. They chase the light, worship it, build entire identities around it. But they forget the other. They suppress it, fear it, deny it. And in doing so, they become incomplete. But you are different. You were never meant to burn with only one flame. You were born to hold both, to become the keeper of the dual fire, to harness light and dark without losing your soul. This is no easy task. It's a path of mastery that few walk because it requires something terrifyingly sacred, the death of false identity. You can't harness both flames if you're still trying to be liked. You can't embody your full power if you're still trying to be good. Goodness, as defined by the world, is too small for you. You weren't made to be tame. You were made to be true. And truth includes both the grace of your light and the fury of your dark. The mistake people make is thinking they have to choose. But true spiritual maturity is not about choosing sides. It's about holding paradox in such a way that it becomes power. The dual flame within you is your compass. One flame shows you the way of compassion, love, vision, and clarity. The other shows you the way of boundaries, truth, destruction, and transformation. Do you understand how rare it is to embody both? To speak with the voice of the healer but also the warrior? To walk into a room and know whether to comfort or to confront? That is the sacred art of vibrational mastery. And it is not learned through books. It is learned through fire, through life, through loss, through standing at the edge of your own darkness and choosing not to run. When you learn how to hold both flames, you become sovereign. You don't need approval to move. You don't need permission to speak. You become so attuned to your own inner alchemy that you know when to channel light and when to wield shadow. You begin to trust your instincts. You begin to see through illusions. And more importantly, you begin to accept all of yourself, every part, every contradiction, every scar, and every gift. But here's the warning: the moment you begin to harness both, the world will react. Some will be drawn to you like moths to a mystery. Others will be repelled, unable to name why. That's because your vibration will challenge their illusions. Your presence will reflect back the parts of themselves they've buried. And many will not be ready for that. But don't take it personally. That's the cost of being whole in a world addicted to half-truths. You are not here to fit in. You are here to ignite. And let me tell you something few will dare to say. Your darkness is not a mistake. Your anger, your intensity, your shadow traits, they are not flaws to fix. They are raw energies waiting to be refined. When you understand how to channel them, they become tools of sacred service. Your anger becomes discernment. Your pain becomes empathy. Your chaos becomes creativity. But only if you stop rejecting them. Only if you invite them into the temple of your being and say, I see you, I honor you, teach me. Ask yourself right now, which flame have I been neglecting? Have I been clinging to light, afraid to feel the depth of my own power? Or am I lost in shadow, forgetting the love that lives inside me? The dual flame is not about balance in the traditional sense. It's about alignment. It's about knowing which part of you to call forward in each sacred moment. It's about becoming so integrated that nothing within you is wasted, nothing is denied, nothing is feared. This is what it means to be a dark chosen one, to live not in halves but in wholeness, to burn with both flames and still walk gently, to be a storm and a sanctuary all at once. The final initiation, becoming the living threshold between worlds. There comes a moment on every true path where the seeker must become the threshold itself, not a traveler between light and dark, not a bridge, but the actual doorway. This is the final initiation, the moment where everything you've survived, every shadow you've embraced, every light you've embodied fuses into something far beyond identity. You stop being someone who visits realms and you become someone who contains them. And this is where the world begins to feel your presence as something fundamentally different, not human, not divine, but both, a living paradox, a walking code, a soul that no longer belongs to one world because it now holds them all. The number of Parnals in the world is seen as a small point. To become that threshold, you must surrender one last illusion that you are ever done, that you will arrive at some final crystallized state of enlightenment where nothing hurts, nothing moves, nothing challenges. That is not mastery, that is stagnation. The dark chosen ones don't seek stillness as escape, they seek it as a center from which all chaos can be held. To be the threshold is to live in sacred motion, to remain rooted while everything shifts, to be the calm and the storm simultaneously. Have you noticed yet? The deeper you go into your journey, the less you need to explain yourself. You stop trying to be understood. You stop arguing with people who haven't met their own shadow. You realize that your vibration speaks louder than your words, that your mere existence becomes a transmission. When you walk into a room, energies shift. People feel something ancient, something holy, something dangerous and tender at the same time. That's not charisma, that's embodiment. That's what happens when you've integrated both realms so deeply that you no longer pretend to be only one thing. And make no mistake, this is felt. The world doesn't know what to do with someone who cannot be categorized, someone who holds both the sacred mother and the fierce destroyer in their eyes, someone who doesn't flinch when others reveal their brokenness because they've sat with their own. This is why dark chosen ones are often misunderstood, not because they are wrong, but because they are ahead. They are the future of human evolution wrapped in ancient soul memory. They are the living proof that divinity is not light or dark, but the sacred union of both. But with this power comes the final responsibility to remain human, to not escape into mysticism, to not disappear into abstraction, You are meant to anchor the extraordinary into the ordinary, to walk your dog and also speak to spirits, to pay your bills and also channel the cosmos, to sit at a dinner table with people who don't understand you and love them anyway. This is the real work. To stay grounded while vibrating across dimensions, to be both cosmic and kind, to be both a sword and a sanctuary. So ask yourself, are you ready to stop seeking and start embodying? Are you ready to stop hiding your full range, your full spectrum, your full flame? Are you ready to accept that you will never be understood by most and still choose to shine anyway? To be the threshold is to be the edge where worlds meet. It's to carry the codes of destruction and rebirth in the same breath. It's to speak with the voice of the ancestors and still laugh like a child. It's to weep for humanity and also fight for it. You are not too dark, you are not too light. You are precisely what this world needs. A being who can navigate shadows without fear. A soul who can hold light without superiority. A presence that awakens people not with noise, but with truth. You are the storm and the silence, the temple and the fire, the darkness and the dawn. You are the living threshold, and the world is waiting for you to fully remember. Now go, not to escape, but to embody, not to teach, but to transmit, not to convince, but to vibrate. We need you, exactly as you are.